dark about most things.
Do you recognize this statue?
It's Book. The night wind. Take it away,
Nope,
senor.
we will not. We gotta keep it with us the whole time.
Would you like a gourmet dog snack biscuit?
I would love one, senor. But I would have a problem with my teeth.
Toothache?
No, senor. If the general...
The fact as well that the general is just kind of staring at us, talking to Ronaldo, does not help matters there.
I'm trying to get out of Quaramonte.
If I had $1 for every
sorry,
time
what?
I heard that, I'd be able to buy back half my family.
Never mind them. What about my visa?
We don't take visa.
I didn't ask if you take a visa. I want you to give me a visa.
Oh my god.
I can't help you, senor. I don't understand these things.
Are there any ancient pyramids near Quaramonte?
Si, senor. But it's not very impressive. It's in ruins.
That's perfect. Would you be willing to give a guided tour of the ruins?
I
Okay,
can't.
so again, there's a couple of
Okay,
things
is
that
one
we...
of the puzzles just going to be filing Ronaldo's paperwork for him?
Yeah, we just get him our lucky piece of coal counts as a pen, and just like you just pencil the whole thing away, like.
He is to be executed. Knowing my luck, I will probably have to shoot him myself.
Amnesty International is going to hear about this. I thought Miguel was arrested for playing the wrong kind of music.
Si, senor, he was.
And that carries the death penalty?
No. You think we're crazy? Well,
I'd love to hear how that investigation went. It's like, Miguel, it appears you've been playing Quaramonte's greatest hits. I was like, yes. Also, I'm an American spy. God, I fucking knew it. Typical Americans trying to appropriate our culture.
Right. I feel like we have to do its paperwork.
Okay.
Why did you
Well,
show him the
thankfully we
stone?
don't. You'll be happy to hear.
Maybe he might not
Thank
know
God.
about it.
Well, he does
But now we have our 3 little plot points to
He knows we
pull.
have it.
Yes.
Did you notice that chart on the police station wall?
Yes, it looked like a map.
Is there
but
a
I
particular
couldn't
order
make out
to
the
do them?
names.
No,
Whatever it
not
was,
really.
Jeffrey didn't want us to see it.
That's why you basically have to kind of like go around the town, talk to everybody,
Came on a little
and
strong
like
with the general.
tick off all
That
the
was
dialogue
not
flags.
Easy, Georges.
Yeah.
Every man has his Achilles heel.
So
Maybe. But that guy's weakness isn't in his foot. That man we saw talking to the general was Ubier. Didn't you recognize him?
I never met him, remember? The guy I called in Paris claimed to be Oublié, but he sounded nothing like the man in the police station. Maybe the professor really is innocent.
Nah.
I would agree with
It's
George
too
on that
much
one
of a
personally, but
coincidence
that's
that
just
he's
me.
here in Quaramonte.
And funny enough, look where Ubier is. Now it's time to
It was that
fucking
suspect
pin into the ground and answer our
archaeologist,
questions.
Ubier. Professor Ubier?
Yes? Who are you?
I have
My name is
10
Snowball.
questions,
George
starting off with
Snowball.
this one.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Yes, I know him. In fact, if it wasn't for Kazakh,
Oh, we finally have an answer.
What?
There
That's
we
what
go.
Karzak
the
is.
expedition.
Yeah.
Take a look at this, Professor. What have you got to say about that?
Where did you get this?
Never mind that. How do you explain these withdrawals?
I left my financial affairs in the hands of my secretary.
Including the withdrawal of funds in cash from your
Gwyneth's a
personal
nice name for a
account?
secretary, I
I
think.
trust Gwyneth implicitly.
And
Yeah.
why Marseille? Why the very place my girlfriend was taken?
That's obvious, Stobart. We are both the victims of the same devious plot.
You can't leave the garden down the garden path like that,
I have no
Ubier.
idea.
Do you know anything about this eclipse, Professor?
Of course. It's not
Maybe
the
you
reason
should.
I'm here
Maybe
in
you could tell
Quaramonte,
us the reason
but
you're
I'm
here in
looking forward to seeing it all the
Quaramonte.
same.
Do you see this label?
Yes. It refers to a company named Condor. What of it?
I traced that company here to Quaramonte. Do you know where I can find the offices of Condor Transglobal?
Oh,
The company no
interesting.
longer exists. They went bankrupt recently.
I have proof. that you are directly involved with Condor.
I used them
And
as
you just admit it
shipments to
openly
transport
in front of
artifacts
Dwayne?
to a gallery in Paris.
You're
Beyond
brazen,
that,
sir.
I have no connection with the company, which, as I said, no longer exists.
Can you identify this statue, Professor?
Oh yes,
Tezcatlipoca.
Tezcatlipoca, the Lord of Darkness.
And is this a real,
right?
or is this made up for the game?
No, Tezcatlipoca is a real is a real Mayan god. He is basically he's represented as the as you know the constellation, the Ursa Major. You know that constellation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's depicted like that in Aztec mythology, but they used to associate it with him as a jaguar as opposed to a bear.
Oh, okay.
Yes, no, he's a genuine god of basically god of knights and sorcery. Is basically how he's considered. Essentially, he is basically considered to be evil, like one of the evil gods.
Right.
A lot of sacrifices would be made in his name. So like he'll be associated with wars, with hurricanes, any kind of that's why. Yeah, exactly. So like that's why some people will always associate him with certain things. That's why someone called him the Night Winds, the Lord Darkness, the whatever other names are put to him.
It marked the end of the Fifth Age.
Perhaps we should be celebrating.
Ah, no.
See, and this game is
The end
educational.
of each age
Yes.
heralds destruction on a global scale. The fifth is the final.
So what Ubier is talking about there is the Mayan apocalypse, which was predicted for the year 2012. Yeah. Now, of course, this game is outright does say that it's actually like the year 2000, or rather, it's 1999 into 2000.
Okay.
Tell me
It's
about your
millennium.
wife, Professor.
Yes.
Please, I don't want to talk about her.
You shot her, didn't you?
No.
I lived on our OnlyFans model
Carol.
money for
It
years.
meant the world to me.
What do you know about my girlfriend's abduction?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was invited to your mansion in Paris.
Not by me, she wasn't.
Okay.
I haven't been home for
Do we
nearly 7
trust him?
months.
That is the question.
Have you ever employed a Central American butler or servant?
I've never employed any kind of servant, monsieur.
Can you tell me anything about this stone?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
That's my business.
How much do you want for it?
And we'll
It's
leave
not
it there.
For sale.
Wake up, Dwayne.
Come on, Dwayne.
Do you think the general was involved with Condor?
Hell no. And if he's a general, I'm a Buddhist. No, that fella's just a mouthpiece for the real power in Quaramonte.
So the general is nothing but a puppet?
He's like Pinocchio before he met the Blue Rinse Fairy. Strictly strings and wood.
Who's pulling the strings?
His mother. Better
You know what?
known as La
Very progressive for
Presidenta, the dictator.
world politics. A female dictator.
Very true.
Yeah. Do you know what? Fuck it. I support her. Down with the patriarchy.
I hear you drove all the way to Quaramonte in a truck.
So there's a few threads now to pull. Since we've spoken to Ubier about everything, he's basically gonna do a bit of a French goodbye in the story here. But if we need to move on from Caramonte, we need to do a couple of things. One,
Yeah.
we need to break out Miguel from prison. That's first on our list because he's basically the informant. He knows what's happened in the mining accident. So between Garcia wanted to get to the bottom of the mining accident, and Dwayne wanted to break out one of his own out of prison, because that's obviously why he's here. So that's the first thing. In order to do that, you have to get rid of the general and Ronaldo out of the office. So
Okay.
one can assume we know how to get rid of both of them through different means. So it's just literally playing that out to its fruition. And while we advance the plot, let's enjoy
There
some
was
easy
nothing else I
listening.
wanted to talk to Nico about at the time. There was nothing else I wanted.
Oh my god, it's so generic. I love it. You can get a 12-hour loop of this on YouTube, by the way. It's great for your, you know.
Tell me about the general. You know, the guy in charge
Calm
around here.
little
We
ears.
don't want to talk about
Yes.
it, senor.
How come? No one can hear you. Well, only that old goat.
In Quaramonte, we have a saying. Don't tell
I
your
suppose
old
it's
goat
wise,
what you
wise
don't want
words.
your wife to know.
if we
that
can,
mean?
if all words are inherently wise, yes, I agree. I don't know if that's alluding to the Easter egg or not. I like to think it isn't, considering the lucky piece of coal doesn't really factor into that conversation. You know, it's like we have an old saying here in Quaramonte: if you feed some coal to a goat, he will tell you that he likes marzipan instead.
An important question: do you like marzipan?
I am ambivalent to marzipan, Bertbot, personally. I don't dislike it, but neither like it. If it's
That's
on
so
a cake,
strange.
like,
Some
yeah.
people have such polarized opinion on it.
No, that's Marmite you're thinking of.
Talking to the general.
No, marzipan. I only know people who either love it like me or hate it like my sister.
Wow, is that like a genetic trait? Is that like it's like just 50-50
know.
in the family? Like, is it?
Yeah, no, it's like, oh, if anything had marzipan, I baked over the break and I made brownies with marzipan chunks in it,
Yeah.
and because I loved it and I was like very proud of my achievement, and she ate it and spat it out, and I was like, I didn't like. She's like, what's in that?
Hey,
I was like,
Nico.
marzipan. She's like, ah. So she actually would have liked my baking. It wasn't just that I baked it really bad, it was that she didn't like marzipan. And I was like so shocked because we're very similar.
This is completely new information.
Like, violent reaction to something I made.
Good to know in future.
Do you have a map of Quaramonte?
A map? I'm sorry, senor, but I don't.
What about
Now I want marzipan.
Ah, that is an
Yeah.
archaeological survey map, senor. Not suitable for tourists.
Is James offering to make? Is that asking for marzipan?
I wasn't going to try and
I'll have to see. Might add it to the shopping list.
I had
Do,
nothing
yeah.
else I wanted to ask him.
I mean, the people need answers now. It's like the next time we do a session, we need to get to the bottom of this marzipan question. You know, on the next exciting
Hey,
edition of
The Kitchen of Madness, yeah. Marzipan edition.
Madness. Monday marzipan, as we call it.
Yeah. There we go.
That's it. It practically writes itself, lads. So this is just me.
There was
There's
nothing
basically
else I
I'm
wanted
missing
to
the
talk to
dialogue
Nico
flag
about
and just
at the
needs to tick it off and we're
Yeah.
good. Because it is just essentially a case of like,
had no-
okay, once we like explained what we're here to do, then we're all good. As you can see, Ube has royally fucked off.
Is Miguel the reason you're here?
Pretty smart, George. I was supposed to make contact with him. By the time I found him, though, he was in
And the best I could
jail.
think of is bringing
I've
a
been
car
trying to
bomb with
figure
me.
out a way to get him out since then.
Sounds good to me. Count me in.
Good man, George. All I need is a detonator.
How come you brought a truckload of explosives but no detonator?
Call me old-fashioned, but I say packing trunks is woman's work.
I hate when that happens when you're going off to a road trip down to South America and you forget your explosives. Like, so frustrating.
To arrive back in the States with tar on my teeth.
You have your tooth polish.
Have everything
Find
else.
Any evidence of
Bar the
Condor's
fucking one thing I
drug
need.
smuggling operations?
Drugs? Hell no. Condor was a cover for the illegal export of Mayan artifacts.
So who was behind Condor?
Okay, we got a
Transglobal?
name.
It was registered in the name of Edan.
Did you get the guy?
I don't think he ever
Oh,
existed.
clever.
Edan backwards
It was a
spells
shell company the whole
Spanish
time.
for nobody.
Shock horror.
Yeah, I am just so appalled at this news. It really has shaken me to my fucking core. I don't know how I'll ever financially recover from this news. But yes, now that we've established that Dwayne is here to break out Miguel, we can now get cracking with our own little conspiracy to get rid of the General and Ronaldo from the office. Because also our plan is also twofold as well. It's not just to break out Miguel; it's also to have a little look at that chart up in the office as well.
Imagine the chart was just all the best cabbage patches.
I had nothing.
So the chart is literally just like the Premier League table from the year 1999. It's like, what the hell is this doing here? For some reason, Bolton is like highlighted in fucking pink because there's like a Montian player on the team.
I don't suppose you have one spare.
I can't simply give you a device like that, no without a damn good reason.
The general has a chart in his office, which he was discussing with Ubier.
Perhaps that chart will tell us where they're heading.
Maybe, but I can't get anywhere near it while the general and his sidekick are there.
Yeah, this is one of the kind of downsides of having all the plot points waiting on a dialogue flag. Is that just as an example here of of it basically waiting for the plot to kick in. You know, we know what we want to do. It's just that we need the game to officially do it.
Could you distract the general while I took a look
That's probably one of the annoying things about these kind of games. Like, there's no like you've got to whatever find that little initiation line of dialogue.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe. But it's your house.
Yeah, it's a quirk of the genre as well. Like it's the way it is programmed essentially. Where like this thing event B can't happen until you've triggered like dialogue A type of thing. We had that with like Gabriel Knight Sins of the Father, where we basically were like a day or two early with some of the plot points. So basically, like day 5, which is meant to be the most like the plot twisty day, nothing happened because we were already ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So and I've had a couple of Sierra games recently that have had the same thing as well, where like we've already done these plot points, so like it just all ever just kind of tumbles into place, rather like seem like rather fluidly.
Oh, here we go. Nico. Honey
I've
trap.
changed my mind.
Yeah, literally a booty trap.
She's embarrassed about asking you for an interview, General.
An interview with me? Fabuloso!
Well, I want to write a story about you.
You hear that, Ronaldo? An exclusive glossy spread about your beloved...
Ronaldo couldn't give a flying shit because he can't read.
Si, Senor General.
Look after things here. I'm going back to my apartment and I don't want to be disturbed.
I'll get you for this, George Stobart.
Don't worry. If you're gone for more than a couple of hours...
Oh, God.
She is fuming. Again, George and Nico have this wonderful will they, won't they energy. Right now, it's a definite won't. Right now.
Yeah. And I don't blame her.
Yeah, fair point.
Would you take my friend to the ruins now the general's gone?
See, it was just that easy. Ronaldo didn't want to do his job either.
I'll go get her.
And all it cost was the self-respect of Nico Collard. Pearl, have you got a detonator? Well, matter of fact, George, I do.
Do you know where I could buy a detonator?
Did Dwayne put you up to this by any chance? Oh, I get it. This is to detonate the truckload of explosives, right?
Hey, come on, I was kidding. Did you think I was serious?
You men and your terrorist plots. Ugh, it's just so much for me to keep track of. I just want to watch my stories.
Problems if he had enough missiles.
Like it is just that kind of thing where like just like the cover story for Dwayne is that he like sells greeting cards in Ohio.
I'd love to.
I just imagine like Pearl having a day to herself Dwayne's like heading out. He's like, "Where are you going, Dwayne?" "Oh, I'm just going to commit an insurrection in South America." "That sounds great. Have fun."